Hello. It's been a while. You're probably wondering where I've been. I mean, I did say I was going to be better at getting more videos out, and well, I'm not really doing a great job of that so far. But I've been busy, and I know you demand answers, and rightfully so. So, tell you what, let's roll the intro, and I'll get you off of this tripod, and I'll show you what we've been working on. What's going on, all my fellow bait chuckers out there? My name is Michael. Welcome back to the channel. Great video for you today, and I figured we'd kick it off giving you kind of the shop tour that you never really asked for, but you're going to get it anyways. Starting off with dogs. It's been requested to show the dogs more on the channel, so here you go. This is my dog Link. How you doing, buddy? Oh, this is a good boy. This is my dog Link. Over here is Zelda. Hi, baby girl. Little Zelda is completely blind. She has cataracts in both eyes, poor thing. And she is actually Link's older sister, believe it or not. Huh, Zelda? Good girl. Yeah, look at you. You big oaf. But this is what has been taking up all of my time recently. You can see we've added a 3D print farm to the shop, and yes, it lives below the tackle collection and above the shoe and gym bag rack. But what on earth do we need a 3D printer for, you might be asking yourself? For the baits, of course. Check that out. Let me introduce you to the Battle Beaver. So this is a design I've been working on with a friend of mine. We have ourselves a mold here ready to go, although it needs a little bit of work, but you can see we're getting a little bit of sagging going on the mold, but just, you know, trying something different. Having a lot of fun with that. And then we also have another swim bait design I'm working on called the Power Perch. So there'll be more videos documenting the whole process of that coming soon in the future, but that's pretty much what I've been working on. You know, the Battle Beaver, I'm really excited about this bait. It has a nice like dead beaver action when it's on a free rig. It has a beautiful glide action. You can split apart the claws here, and it has a great profile on the back of a jig, and it works great just as a Texas rigged bait as well. So having a lot of fun experimenting, kind of building my own baits for my very first time. Super excited about that. And then back here, this is actually a preview of what we got going on for the next video. These are some epic finesse worm molds. This video is way overdue. These molds are actually provided to us by Epic Bait Molds, and the reason for that is because that was initially to celebrate our 2,000 subscriber landmark. We've since blown past that. We're currently at 3,500. So like I said, long overdue, and I apologize to Epic Bait Molds, but in this next video coming up, you're going to want to make sure you smack that subscribe button, because in the next video, there's going to be a chance for you to win some molds and other prizes. I can't say the G word because YouTube doesn't like that very much, but next video, you're going to want to be tuned in. And you might be wondering what that is over there. Yep, I did it. I plunged, got myself an airbrush, some colors, a color wheel, and why, you might be asking, would I be investing in an airbrush? I blame that man right there. Yes, this guy up here has inspired me to fish with my own masterpiece. And I'm plugging the course right now, not because he asked me to, but because it deserves it. I signed up for the Fish with Your Masterpiece course. I've been watching all the videos, and I am super excited to, well, build my own masterpiece. As you can see, I very much love the woodworking. We've got most of the tools. We've got the band saws, the drill press, the chop saws, the table saws. There's compressors and sanders under the workbench table over there. So we definitely have everything we need. I've worked with wood for a long time. I just don't know why I've never tried to make my own lure. But there's a first time for everything, and I'm going to be taking all of you along for the ride, don't you worry. So this is the whole shop. We got the 8-Bit Baits storefront right over there, all of our supplies. We got the tackle wall with our 3D print farm over here. We got the test tank. We got the wood shop / workshop area over here. All the tackles out of the boat right now because we were just cleaning up a mold issue, so we got that whole thing straightened out. Here's where all the magic happens, the command center with the radios and the computers and the streaming computers. Our editing station over there. We always like to keep some type of inspirational video going up. We've got someone's channel, whether it's Marling Baits or World's Worst Fishing. We got something going on up there all the time, so we're being inspired constantly. And that's one thing that I can't stress enough. You know, I try and make my workshop a fun, creative area. I don't like my tools to be all scrambled. You know, I want to be able to come into my workshop and look at my wall of colors, you know, and kind of be inspired to make a bait. I want to, you know, look at my tools on the wall and be able to be inspired and pick up a tool and, you know, start a project, do something fun and creative. So I highly encourage all of you to make the best out of what you got in your workshop. Not everyone's going to have a big space. I mean, my bait station is just a small, you know, chunk of the corner of my garage. Whatever space you have, try and make it as fun and creative as possible so you can do your best work. Okay, now that we've got you all buckled in, let's show you what we're going to be working on today. What we have here are some Keitech style micro jigs made by my man Jacob over at Into the Woods Custom Lure Works. Make sure to go check out his channel. I'll have a link to it in the upper right hand corner of the screen. I'll also put a link to this exact video where he shows you how to make these jigs down below in the description. The Keitech kind of tungsten micro football jigs are some of my favorite jigs to throw. I even have an entire tackle box full of them. Aha! Right here. Check this out. Yep, those are all 1/2 ounce, 3/8 ounce Keitech style micro jigs. Okay, and if we take them out and compare, all right, there's a 1/2 ounce Keitech Tungsten Football Jig, and there's a 1/2 ounce jig that Jacob made. I mean, pretty darn close if you ask me. In this exact color right here, the black blue, I caught a beautiful 3-pounder on this last time Eric and I both went out. Awesome jig, love this a lot. So the reason I have all of these out today is because I want to show you an awesome way to rig these up. Now, when I picked up all of these from Jacob a few weeks back, I said, you know what? I got the perfect video to do for this jig right here, and that is featuring this little soft plastic bait right there. It's the 2.75 inch Ned Crawler. 14 cavities to be specific, and it's quite warm because it's been sitting on the warming plate. We also have the corresponding tail mold, and we're going to be shooting some beautiful tails here today as well. We're going to be having a lot of fun with this mold today. One of the primary reasons we're going to be featuring this mold is because, well, it's early spring and it is jig season. The crawdads are going to be coming out onto the rocks here at the Delta, and these Keitech style jigs do amazingly well. And this setup right here, known as the Ned jig, I like to refer to as what Greg Blanchard calls the cheater jig. Anyone who watches Greg Blanchard kayaking out here around the California Delta, Clear Lake, and all the Yakka Bass tournaments, etc., this jig has won him a lot of tournaments right here, and he's deemed this the cheater jig. It's basically a Keitech micro jig with either a TRD style or some type of Ned style bait on it, and that's what we have right here. The 2.75 inch Ned Crawler is the perfect size and profile to fit on the back of these Keitech style jigs. So basically, when this thing is down on the ground hopping around, you got that tail flapping up there. I like to use floating plastic to make sure we always have an upward flappiness going on the tail whenever we're making these little jig trailers, and that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be making some jig trailers to match some of these jigs here that Jacob has made for us from Into the Woods Custom Lure Works. Now the jig isn't the only way to rig up the Ned Crawler, all right? Take a look at this awesome little finesse chatterbait made for me by my buddy Justin over at Head Outdoors. Great looking finesse chatterbait in the 2.75 Ned Craw. You can see the hook comes out vertically so the tail flaps back and forth from the action of the chatterbait. I've used the Neko Crawler on the back of a jackhammer, and the Ned Crawler is great on the back of a Mini-Max. Perfect sizing for that as well. So if you like that kind of flappy weighted tail on the back of your chatterbait, this is a great option for your finesse chatterbaits as well. Now it is a Ned Crawler, so of course a standard Ned rig will work, but what I also like to throw it on is one of these here. Check it out. It's a little kind of wobbly wiffle style head. That's a tiny 1/8 ounce wiffle Ned rig setup. I believe that is a size 1 or a size 1/0 EWG hook on that little 1/8 ounce weight there. And you can see it is perfect for fishing this as a Ned rig. Because of the floating plastic, when that head hits the bottom, that tail's going to be up flapping around, especially in a situation where you got some current. Really love to throw the wiffle heads and let that Ned rig just kind of rest at the bottom and let the tail do the work for you. So again, let the current do all the work and you're going to get bit. One of my newest and favorite ways to rig up the Ned Crawler is with the first gen jaw dropper. This is an awesome little Ned rig head. It is designed to be fished as a Ned rig, and that little lip that you see right here, that's going to give it that side to side darting action. So you're going to get that zigzag action as you hop it off the ground. It's going to hop to the left, hop to the right, hop to the left, hop to the right. And again, I like to make sure that I use the floating plastic, so that way when it is standing on the ground, not only is the hook and the weight of the lip going to help it stand upright, but I also want that floating plastic to be pointing up and, you know, swirling around with the current, especially on the Delta. So again, the first gen jaw dropper, an awesome Ned head to use on this style of bait. But what I wanted to try today was something that we've never done on the channel, and I've actually never even done, period. I really like that some of these that Jacob tied up has that blue highlight in there. So I thought, let's try our hand at a little bit of milking the cow method, and let's make some Ned Crawlers with a little bit of that kind of Magic Craw look, you know, that green pumpkin black flake with the blue highlight swirled in there. So I have a way that we're going to try and pull it off with some pearlized powder. I've tried it with highlight powder in the past, but never quite got the color right. So let's try our hand at some Magic Craw Ned Crawlers. What do you say? Well, as usual, we have no idea where we're going to end up with the color today. But luckily for all of you, my producer John, with the power of editing, already knows what the final color combination is going to be for today. So we're going to go ahead and throw up on the screen right now all the colors that you're going to need to go ahead and make these baits with us at home in your bait shops. Kicking it off with the tails colors, we are going to start off with one of my favorite combinations, the MF Transparent Fluorescent Chartreuse, and then we are going to bump that up with a little bit of silver holographic flake. For our green pumpkin, we're going to try something a little bit new today. We're going to give the Dead on Plastics Goose Turd a shot for the first time on this channel. As always, we got our .040 black glitter from Lureworks. This is going to be our green pumpkin and black combination on both sides of the injectors. Now to spruce things up on the one side for our green pumpkin Magic Craw Swirl, we're going to try Disco Blue. All right, let's kick it off with a fresh half cup of plastisol here. We are heated up, ready to go. We've got our color all shooken up. It is the MF Transparent Fluorescent Chartreuse. This is a half a cup, so we are going to start with 20 drops, and I think that is going to be plenty for what we need today. Oh yeah, there we go. You can see that transparent fluorescent chartreuse, extremely bright, extremely fluorescent, fluorescent. I can't speak. All right, and we are going to put a full 1/16 scoop of the .015 holographic flake in there. Really gonna spice up those tails. Look at that. Now that is a super sparkly tail. In fact, you know what? I think I want one more. Yeah, that's right. We're going 2 full scoops, 1 full 1/8 of a teaspoon for a 1/2 cup of plastisol. And look at that. Tell me that isn't a sparkly tail. That's going to get a bass's attention for darn sure. Alright, we are vacuumed, reheated, ready to be injected. Let's get some of these tails going. What do you say? The injector is cold, so we are going to have to move pretty quick, but it is just a tail mold. Doesn't take a whole lot of plastic. And just like that, we are done. Going to hold pressure for just a few seconds. We do have the molds heated up to 52 degrees Celsius just on warm on the hot plate, just to take that chill off. It is still late winter, early spring, so we got a little bit of a chill here in the garage. We can already see that mold is sucking up a little bit of plastic, so we're just going to go ahead and top that off just to be safe. And that's what it looks like on the tip of the injector. Kind of looks like Slimer from Ghostbusters, huh? Alright, that's what the sprue's looking like. Here we go, 2.7-inch Ned Crawler tails. The tails always usually turn out nice. No issues with the tail mold. And look at that, everything filled out beautifully. Keeping the mold warm is going to prevent any and all denting. That's why I really like to keep that mold warm. Look at that. Isn't that transparent fluorescent chartreuse just an amazing color? All of that holographic flake in there, setting it off. Absolutely awesome stuff. Now, each time we inject the tail mold, we do get 16 tails, and it is a 14 mold cavity for the actual Ned Crawler mold. So we do get enough tails to do 1 complete run. We probably got enough to do 2 more shots of tails, so that's probably what we're going to do now. I won't bother you with doing all that on camera, so with the power of editing, we've got 4 sets of tails instead of the 3 we initially planned on. In case you're inquiring about the sudden wardrobe change, it's the day after tomorrow, but it's still the same old coffee cup. Smooth. But look, more stuff came in for our masterpiece, so that's pretty cool. Cheaper airbrush, brand new big old lead pot, cheap pair of wire bender pliers, expensive pair of wire bender pliers, sandpaper, hole punches, bleed checker, base coat, reducers, wash. Even got ourselves a carving knife. I'm excited to build my masterpiece. I can't wait. I can't remember if I put the website or mentioned it earlier, but the name of the program is Fish With Your Masterpiece, and I'll put a link down below to marlingbaits.com where you can go and sign up and take the masterclass for yourself. But just be warned, apparently it takes a lot of stuff to build a masterpiece. Alright, here we go with another fresh cup of plastisol right out of the microwave. Although it has been sitting out for 2 days, so you can see it definitely has a little bit of bubbles going on. No big deal, we will vacuum those out. So we're going to start with the goose turd from the Dead On Plastics. Now, normally the Dead On Plastics colors are pretty thick, so we're going to start with 30 drops and see where that gets us. Alright, there we go. Well, that's definitely more on the brown side. I wouldn't really call that a green pumpkin. It's definitely goose turd-ish, but we're going to have to green that up a little bit. So let's add a little bit of the Dead On Plastics green pumpkin, huh? What do you say? Let's throw some of that in there, see if we can't green it up a little bit. Alright, we dropped in 30 drops of the green pumpkin from Dead On. And I think this is definitely getting us to slightly where we want to be. I mean, it's definitely a little more brown than I would have liked, but it's more like a dark pumpkin. It's alright. We will roll with it for this instance. It doesn't have to be an exact color match. I think we get the gist here. what we're trying to go for. Next, I want to add in some of the 0.04 black flake. I usually like to go with a full 1/8 of a teaspoon. We're using a 1/16 of a teaspoon here, so it's 2 scoops of that to give you 1/8. That should give us some decent texture in the bait for a, you know, a nice green pumpkin black there. Let's get that all mixed in. There you go. You can see we have a nice speckling of black flake there throughout. Let's go in with some of the disco blue. I really want to see if this color is going to work right out of the gate, and then all we have to do is simply replicate what we have here on the second color for us to get that milking the cow effect. So this is triple strength, and I'm going to start with 10 drops, because typically when I see a Magic Craw Swirl, it has a lot of the blue going on, and this is looking pretty thick right now. And you can see that blue's barely coming through with that 10 drops. Definitely not blue enough, so let's add another 10 drops. Okay, starting to make a little bit of an impact. I think we need to go further. Let's do another 10 drops. Well, we're getting there, but I still don't think it's blue enough. I think we can still certainly go more. So what are we at? 30 drops right now? Let's go another 20, make it an even 50. Alright, there we go. I think that's definitely enough to make an impact. I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to go more. I kind of feel like when I see a green pumpkin magic swirl, it's got more blue than that. I mean, you could almost double this right here, I think, to be quite honest. And I don't know, we're at 50 drops right now. Let me try another 30 or so. Okay, that's looking good. I'm just going to polish it off at 100. Alright, I will cap it off there, but we are looking at 100 drops, and I think that's partly because these colors are so thick. We have 60 drops of the dead-on plastics in there, and that's going to be a pretty dark, thick color. But that's going to give us a beautiful blue sheen right there. I think that's definitely going to be vibrant and stand out against the other green pumpkin kind of green swirl that we'll put in there. So I think we will now start the process of reheating this up. We'll get this in the vacuum chamber, and then we're simply going to duplicate this green pumpkin recipe in our other cup of plastisol as well. We are ready to inject. Now, I've got you all pulled way out back, and as always, don't forget to glove up. So this way you can see what we're going to be doing with our hands. Because we're going to be doing the milk the cow technique. So what I'm going to do is, you can see I've removed the stopper here from the top of my double jointed, double injector here. This is what holds the two injectors in sync with one another. So since I've taken that out, we can adjust each one independently. So we're going to have to draw our plastic up separately, and then using a tap method, one by one, left to right, just like milking a cow, to get that swirl effect into the bait. So we're going to give this a shot, see how it works. Here we go. First time ever trying the swirl technique. Okay, we got one injector full, the other injector full. Let's give this a shot. See it on there? Alright. Okay, I don't know how well, if that worked at all, if it froze in the block or what. I think we got a solid shoot there. Alright, the blending block is usually the source of truth for us here. Yeah, it's going to make for an interesting swirl. You definitely got that blue pearlized powder coming through on the highlight side of things there. It's got that shimmer. Although, I'll be honest, I almost feel like we could really go even harder on that highlight. I mean, if I'm just saying, we got to see how the baits turn out. But I think we could probably go even more disco blue over here. Alright, let's take a look. The 2.75 inch Ned Crawler. Hopefully this turned out. Can we get it to come off on one side? Nope. Yes, no, maybe so. Alright. Couple things here. We didn't really get the swirl effect, but for that little tiny part down there on the end. The rest of it all seems to pretty much be, I mean, there's a streak of it down there. I wasn't sure if either side, we'll probably try it perpendicular, but it definitely looks like the one side filled up the bait more than the other. And I can notice that in the cup as well. Alright, we're going to have to separate this out and see if we can't try this again. Round 2, start from scratch, because this looks like a complete fail. I mean, the color looks good. I mean, look at that. I mean, in terms of a green pumpkin, it looked brown in the cup, but that combo turned out pretty sweet. I'm happy with that green pumpkin. But that blue, I think a couple things. I think we're going to need to add more blue for sure, and then we're going to try this again with a little more variation in our pumping, because we got all one color for some reason. Alright, let's see if we can't give this another shot, huh? Alright, here we go, sucking up the blue side, sucking up the green side. Alright, I guess we know now it doesn't really take much to get these going, so hopefully this one swirled a little bit better than the last one. This technique definitely, I think, is going to take some practice. This is a lot harder than it looks. Alright, let's take a look at these here and see what we're working with and whether or not we got a good swirl this time around. Oh, well, is it a swirl or is it a laminate? No, we got some swirl. Alright, there we go. Look at that. We definitely got some weird swirling going on there with the blue. You can see some definitely more than others. This side for sure got a lot of blue. And this side is green, but with some blue swirled in. Well, we're getting better every single time. These will work. I think, you know, for a solid color, these will work. Next, I think we are going to go even longer this time, because what I noticed, one of the mistakes I did, I didn't do the milk the cow long enough, and when I pressed both sides down together, it squished all the way down, and that's where I think I got a lot of this kind of one side laminate going on. But I'll still take it. It's still swirly, but I think it's time to drop in some of our fluorescent transparent chartreuse tails and see what these look like with the swirl and with that tail combination all together. I mean, already I can tell you that's going to be a good matchup right there. In fact, there it is. I couldn't even wait. I had to rig it up. I mean, that looks absolutely incredible. Look at that, with the lighter green pumpkin and blue highlights coming on the jig skirt, but that little bit of a darker greenish brown underneath. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Lord have mercy. Look at that profile. I mean, come on. Oh, let's get these tails on here. Now you want to make sure when you're placing your tails, especially if you're not using any worm oil like I'm not using right now, you want to make sure your tails are tapped in, there's no air gaps, and everything is seated properly. Worm oil will certainly help with this process, but sometimes you just don't have time. And to be honest, I don't really want to get my hands dirty with all the plasticizer right now. And then we come in ever so gently. And that's what you want. A nice tight seal all the way around. Yep. We are ready for injection. Alright, let's give this a shot. We'll angle that again. It seemed to work pretty good. We'll go try perpendicular now. Let's try it like that. Okay, here we go. We got the tails in this time. This one counts. Alright, we got the blue side sucked up. Green side sucked up. Alright, here we go. Can we get in there? There we go. Alright. Alright. Hopefully that time fared out a little bit better. It felt really good. I definitely felt like we got a lot more back and forth that time. Alright, here we go. Let's see how these turned out with the tails. Oh my. I can already tell those look good. Yeah. Awesome. We got some great swirling in there. Take a look at that. Oh yeah. Awesome swirl effects going on. We got a lot of blue, definitely down the one side of the sprue, but you can see where it splits apart and is mixed up when it hits the baits. So again, we will take it. As long as the baits are swirled, that's the important thing. Oh yeah, look at that. Swirled, green pumpkin, and then you just move it, and then you get those swirls of the blue highlight in there. Awesome stuff. Oh, and with that fluorescent, transparent chartreuse tail. Oh yeah. Those look awesome. Alright, and there we go. Look at that. One of the beautiful things I like about this Ned Crawler Mold 2 is the fact that you get 14 baits per injection. So when you take the time to go to all the trouble of putting in the tails and injecting those separately, even if you're doing a laminate, etc., it makes it worthwhile because again, you're getting 14 baits out of one single injection, which is nice. I mean, it's a whole package of baits right here in one shot, which is pretty cool. Well, we got 3 more sets of tails left over there, so we're going to see how many more we can get out of the plastic that we got left over. Let me get you in close. Do you see that right there? That little bit of transparent fluorescent chartreuse. Yep, we decided to take the leftovers from our tail color and mix it with the green pumpkin that we had the blue swirl effect in it. So hopefully this will give us kind of an extreme example of the swirl effect. Let's see how this turned out. Oh yeah, look at that. Not bad. Removing that glare there, you can see we definitely got a mixture of the green pumpkin and the fluorescent chartreuse. Let's have a look. Alright, this side appears to be heavily mixed in with the chartreuse side for sure, but when you flip it over, we definitely get a good smattering of green pumpkin and the chartreuse together, which is pretty cool. That's a very interesting color. I mean, if we clipped a couple of those off of there, I mean, if we were just to take one here and take a look at it, you can definitely see some swirling of the green pumpkin and the chartreuse. That's pretty cool. I kind of dig that color myself. We got enough to do one more run of these, so I think we are going to do just that. We will get you some close-up goodness, and we'll be right back. And there you have it, the 2.75 inch Ned Crawler, an awesome bait along with tail mold. You can do some really cool stuff with it, and check this out. I even took that transparent fluorescent chartreuse, put it on the back of that purple, black, and blue and chartreuse micro jig that Jacob whipped up. Awesome, awesome stuff. Special shout out to Jacob. Thank you. Make sure to check out Jacob's channel. I will have that linked down below in the description. Into the Woods Custom Lure Works. make sure to head on over to his channel, give him a subscribe button. And if you're not subscribed to Bait Chucking already, hey, you know, it's free all month long. Just go ahead and click the subscribe button and stay tuned. Make sure to hit that bell because you never know when we're going to go live. These baits are awesome. I can't wait to get out on the water. Spring is right around the corner. And until next time, you all know who it is. Your friend on this end, Michael, out here around these Delta sloughs, reminding you to keep on chucking. I'll get back with you.